from this tranquility to that violence.
I usually take the Ferrari.
Okay, I thought that was a fitting introduction. I don't remember that scene from Miami Vice myself, but I do remember when this car was in white. I think it was white, right, from Miami Vice? Yeah, I looked it up. It was a white car. I don't remember what happened to it, though. Did it blow up or what? I'm not going to go and look again. Anyway, so this is the DMH relatively recent 2024 release of the 1984 Testarossa in Rosso Corsa. There's 800 of this color. Interesting, there's a little extra red thing there. Not licensed, of course. If you have ethics, don't watch my channel. Big sturdy cardboard box. And there's a lot of different 84 Testarossas, so I don't have the pictures pulled up yet because I don't know which one they modeled in this little 164. Hopefully this thing is new. Some scissors. I went looking for new phones today, but I don't think the modern phones are really meant for macro video. I literally took my F40 resin model to the store, and I found the brightest phone store I could find, because this is a bright photo booth here. It's not even a photo booth, it's just a giant LED above us. And then I tried the X100 phone, and then a Samsung, whatever, S24 Ultra, both of which are over $1,000. And they have multiple cameras, so what happens is when you zoom in on the model, it just switches to somewhere else because the cameras are physically in different locations. So I just don't know if I can find a better phone than this A7. This A7 here has one camera, so when I zoom in, it doesn't shift the position of the car because there's only one camera. And also the Samsung only had a 3.5 zoom in one camera, and then it jumps up to something higher. And then the X100 just couldn't focus on anything. It just wasn't meant to do macro videography. I'm looking at the wheels here, and they have protruding centers. So I think I know. And it also has orange, full orange top turn signals. Some have clear ones. So let me see if I can find proper photos. So these are the best, closest representations I could find. Although the rear taillights, I could not find what's on this model. So obviously it's hard to focus between two objects there, but this one also has the high-rise rear view mirror, but you'll notice it has totally amber top lights there, like this model does. So I guess that seems okay. But this one has a reflector in this corner. This one does not. But that's fine, because if you look at this side photo, this doesn't have a reflector. So, and this has the low mirror. So this side photo is the most representative right now. Let me get in closer here. Yeah, all those lines, at least the top profile lines, seem to match up pretty well. The wheels look alright too. Now the rear photo, all the rear photos I see have turn signals here in orange. So, and that makes sense to me, but unfortunately this model doesn't have orange turn signals. You'll see obviously when I review the model more, but they're just totally white. Oh, sorry, I'm adjusting some sort of brightness setting on my camera. I'm not trying to, I'm just trying to hit focus. Okay, that's enough for the comparisons. So with all the different markets back in 1984, like the American ones I think had these giant rubber, nasty like bumperettes on this thing, so yeah, there's a lot of ugly stuff. Is this, alright, so this looks like a new model. It's not scratched on the bottom. The bottom's perfectly smooth, but it does have this weird, you know, the glue lines from the acrylic. And it's got some black Phillips head screws in there. The edges are totally polished smooth. You can see right through to my finger, right? So that's even lengthwise, right? It's very impressive how they polish those. That takes time. It's not easy to do. Then we have this plate here. It tells you it's a Testarossa 84. You know what's funny? It doesn't tell you it's a Ferrari though. Interesting. Oh, I'm almost at the end of the run. Wait a sec. This says CLA and not DMH. Maybe it is a CLA. This is a way for them to avoid being sued out of existence. Now, see the box though, it does say DMH. So, if you miss this batch, some other brand's going to come out with this exact same model. It's just going to be called like LSQ or something. So, if you miss colorways, if you're patient, I'm pretty sure it'll come out again. They're not going to just throw these molds away. They're going to milk them as much as they can. Alright, so with the base set, let's start off with this front wheel. Yeah, you got the prancing horse there, looks pretty good. And yeah, very high profile tires is what happened in 1984. I do feel like maybe this front tire might be too high profile, but it is squished and that's realistic. I'm never going to take it off the display stand, so there's even a little bit of a gap there, it looks like. So this is a well-centered wheel and all that stuff. I'm not sure if they're trying to make this 5-spoke vertical. Like the rear one's totally vertical, like even. But it doesn't really bother me too much. But maybe it bothers you. Okay, so the tire sidewall is ballooned out like a real tire. Looks pretty good. I don't see any sort of brakes out here. Let me zoom in here 3 times. I also wonder... I wonder if that little thing right there is supposed to be like the air valve. Right, because it's only in one spot, and it's also on that one, so I think that's intentional. Let me get the flashlight, see if we can see some brakes here. Oh, that's too bright. Well, one lumen's not going to be bright enough. Oh, maybe it will. Well, yeah, there's something back there. It's just the openings aren't very big. But knowing this brand, or DMH, knowing resin models, I'm sure it has a brake system back there. Alright, now I'm noticing this tiny, like, orange, I guess, running light or reflector, and that is on the side photograph. So certain countries got the big blocky orange thing here, but this one's got a tiny orange dot. So I assume that's somewhere in Europe. Look at this paint, it is very smooth. See the sharp line of my square LED up there reflecting? Very impressive. Thin panel gaps, thinner than a toothpick. And then these strakes, this crazy styling back then, and they're very thin. And yet you have this black thing holding them all together. I don't know what these strakes are made of. They're so thin. It wouldn't surprise me if they're photo etched metal painted red, because they are as thin as a toothpick. I don't think you can mold plastic that thin. And then this will be interesting if that vent really has like a grate back there. Look at that. It's got a radiator back there. Hold on. It's pretty hard. I don't have 3 hands, so. But I gotta get the light in there. Can we do it? Can we see? Yeah, that's definitely like a silver radiator way back in there behind those vents. That is really impressive. That's awesome detail. I mean, it could have just been a black swatch of paint, but I mean, I don't know if anyone's looking at their cars to this kind of detail. You should. I mean, that's why these things are so expensive, but I mean, after this video, I probably won't look at this like that ever again. Alright, so let's get this flashlight out of the way. Guess I'll just leave it on the ground in case I have to do that again. This little square, rectangular thing, I assume is the styling house badge, but I don't make out any text on it. But it looks like they tried to etch something in there, so that's nice. And then the rear wheel, yeah, the horse and the wheel are perfectly vertical, or close enough for me. Big fat tire. And you'll notice there's no funky truck treads. So this resin brand, or at least this particular model, looks realistic to photographs. It's really strange that other brands have all these chunky nut side blocks on their tires. Super thin packaging type of plastic for the windows. The blackout is printed on the back side, and then on the nearer surface we have a photo etched piece of metal painted black. So that's pretty impressive. This is like 3-dimensional molding. And then that packaging, see, so thin, you can do that. Probably not wise to do that. So very good. And then you'll notice the center caps of the wheels are sticking out quite a bit. They're kind of cones. Now I'll be honest with you, I didn't see any photographs that had conical center caps like that. They're always hexagons, like knockoff nuts. So I feel like they could have done a better job with that. I'm pretty sure they would have to be, hexagons, because how else would you can't really unscrew a cone, right? So that's kind of an odd design detail. It's kind of obvious to me, but whatever. Front turn signals, yep, full block of orange, and then underneath probably some running lights or fog lights, and it looks like there's 3 buckets in there, so very neat. And let me try to see if I can touch that surface. Yeah, that's perfectly smooth, so the pick is not going into those recesses. That's some sort of clear resin on top of that chromed bucket. So very impressive, because I don't know how they get this resin on a 3-dimensional object without air pockets, right? Think that out. How do you do that? How do you get this thing to be like that without air bubbles? That's one of the mysteries of these little models. Very impressive. Okay, so we seem to have a metal grill here. And look at that. Behind that grill we have another radiator. It's fantastic detail. The edge looks like it's silver or aluminum. I don't know if there's a grating or not. Sorry, I have to always switch. I wish I had like a 5 lumen flashlight, but it's almost impossible to find flashlights with low lumen counts now. Alright, well anyways, that's fantastic. Okay. The Ferrari badge here is very small, looks proportional, it doesn't look like a tablet, and it's in the correct orientation. The headlights there, the super thin gaps, looks fine, very good. And again, pretty smooth. The sides are smoother though. This is orange peely right at the edge, right? The side was a sharp line. But I can't do a better job myself, so I'm gonna roll with it. There's some sort of black etched piece here for this grill. You can hear the etching. Then we have some wiper blades, and they are etched metal, of course, and painted black, and I think they are bent perpendicular to the windscreen. Look at that, how the arm is floating above the blade arm. Very cool. Yeah, very realistic looking. And again, the windscreen here has a photo etched piece of molding around it. Alright, so this side here looks pretty good, no major problems. Oh, I didn't even notice. Or maybe it wasn't on the other side. There's a door lock here with a little slit there. Was it on the other side? Oh yeah, it is on the other side. Yeah, so a little door lock. So small. I mean, that's really small. I missed it. Like, you better have some perfect eyesight to even notice that with your own naked eye. It is so small, it's crazy. This is magnified a little bit right now, this phone. Oh. What's going on with the rear wheel? It looks like it's bent inwards. Yeah, my rear wheels are jacked up. First of all, this positive camber or something, right? It looks like the tire is not vertical. It's actually canted that way. And then that one's really messed up. Ugh. I gotta get a screwdriver. Reposition this, hold on. I wonder if I could fix that. Man, that is messed up. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm gonna have to break it off and then re-glue it. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. Somehow it got jacked up. Well, assembled poorly. Continuing on, I do feel it's lame that there's no license plate. It would be nice if they had something like with the Ferrari or something, or just the area there. I don't know what that is. I can feel these 2 recesses here. Maybe those are lights for the plate. The exhausts are very thin. They have some depth to the middle. They're very shiny, so I have to assume those are metal tubes. And then we have this photo etch piece here, some sort of grill, but there's no air passing between it. The prancing horse there is a shiny piece of metal. And then that 512 TR badge there, I don't know, maybe it's a foil sticker or something. I'm at 4 times magnification, so let's see if I can, yeah, there you go. Now see, if this was like on those $1,000 phones, I would have zoomed in and then the car would vanish because the camera's in a different location on the phone. So that's why I think I'm going to stick with this until my real phone, the phone I use, breaks. The grating here for the rear it's got to be photo etched metal. They're so thin. And then the lights, yeah. I mean, it's nice that they're shiny and all that. It's just really odd that they aren't amber, right? I didn't see any Testarossas with all white lights up top. If you can find a photo or leave a comment, then yeah, please do. But I didn't see any. Okay, going up to here, we got some photo etch stripes here, probably for some venting. And then this grill here looks like it is passing air. But I don't know if there's going to be anything under there. I don't see any details under. There's no silver. It's just darkness or maybe red down there. That's fine. Alright, well, yeah, that's all smooth. And then what's going on inside that window area? Looks like there might be some black molding there. Yeah, I think there's even black molding around this rear window. Very impressive because it's kind of hard to get in there. And then the roof is very, well, it seems smoother than the hood at least. A tiny bit of orange peel. Then we have the fuel filler here, and that seems to have a tiny lock on it as well. Let's see. Yeah, it's so small, it's crazy. Like, here's the tip of the toothpick, right? I mean, this is not a modified toothpick. This is the way this toothpick came. And look how small that piece of metal is. Like, someone had to put that there. I think this one's even smaller than one on the door. Very impressive. The rear view mirrors, yeah, there's some black and... Oh, wait, what's that? Is that air passing between the mirrors? I think it is. That is so fragile. Wow, you touch that mirror, it's going to snap. Look at that. That's literally passing air, those two arms of the mirror. And then it's going to have reflective stickers. Yeah, so it literally is a mirror. And then we have the steering wheel. We got the nice prancing horse there. Let me try to hit focus. Okay. I don't see any gauges. Let me try to shine light from this side. Oh, and there they are. Look at that. So it looks like white on black gauges. And those gauges are like independent. So like, see the circular, the two main, the speedo and the tack? They're recessed. If that was a decal on a flat surface, I don't think they would be in that way. So I'm not sure how they did that. I don't know if they literally have like 5 decals in that instrument binnacle. If they did, that's just insanity. That's so much work because they're so small. But how else would they get that depth for those dials? I don't think you can print in recesses very easily. Okay. Well, here. I'm trying to see gas pedals or anything except the brake pedal. I don't see it, but it's not to say they aren't there. Let me resituate the camera here. Try to go with this. So it looks like the shifter there. It's a little knob. And it's a bent shifter. I don't know if that's accurate to a Testarossa. Please leave a comment. It's like the stock is like S-shaped or something. You'll see it better when I switch to the other side. The central venting seems to have horizontal strakes. This is a really nicely molded interior. Oh, the floor there, it's got a black, like, I don't know, it's not a carpet, you know, but some sort of rubber pad for your heels. And then there's the, I guess that's the brake pedal right there, possibly the clutch, maybe, I don't know. And then that's the gas pedal. This car from 1984, I would assume it should have 3 pedals, right? If it has a stick shift. But leave a comment. I kind of feel like there's no clutch pedal. Alright, center console there. Some sort of red thing. Maybe that's, I don't know if they had start buttons in 84. I kind of doubt it, but I don't know. I've never sat in a Testarossa. Oh boy. So there's a really thin rear view mirror. I've seen better from other brands. They actually mold their mirrors. Even die-cast have molded mirrors, so I feel that could have been more realistic. But it's a nitpick. The seats have, you know, some sort of a texture. I guess kind of simulating leather grain. And then the top of the headrest, though, unfortunately there is no prancing horse. I would have to assume that rectangle on the top of the headrest is for a Ferrari logo. There's quite a side sill. Okay. And then you'll notice that door over there. There's a handle for the hand. The armrest there. Let's try to look at the center console again from this side now. Yeah, so you look at the bend that oh, boy, sorry. I hit the camera boom. Look at the bend that shifter's taken. Is that normal? That seems a little crazy. It's so tall, too. But, you know, in 1984, who knows what they did. Alright, so that even the passenger has that, like, black foot pad there. Sneaker pad. Alright. See a third pedal though, but they look like cross-drilled pedals, which is nice. I assume those are photo etched pieces. I think the emergency brake is to the left of the driver. Isn't that the handle right there? Yeah, I think it is. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, there's a center console there. There's some green and orange switches, maybe. There's a lot of details going on. Alright, maybe that flash was a bad idea. That's a lot of detail in this interior. The seatbelt buckles there. You got that little red there. Very nice. There's no actual seatbelts, or are there? You know, that might be a seatbelt there hanging down. It's just not, you know, on the seat itself. It's very, you usually don't actually see that unless it's like a race harness on a resin model. So this is really nice. I guess this is a dark brown dashboard. I thought it was black initially, but the more light I put on it, the more I realize it's not the same color as the window molding or the steering wheel. So you have a photo etched piece of metal for the columns on the steering column, the wipers and the turn signal stalks there. Alright, I wonder if there's anything on the top of this interior. Look at that. Interesting. Some sun visors and something blending onto the roof there. And that rearview mirror. Yeah, I guess it is reflective. Possibly. I can't tell. Sorry, I didn't want to hit focus. I was too lazy. So, unfortunately for me, you know, that wheel's jacked up as far as the alignment goes. Really bothers me. Before I go on, I didn't even notice this is a Ferrari text right here. Some really shiny Ferrari badging there. It's so impressive. What I'm worried about is if I drop this model, those mirrors are going to break off. It's got these little rubber like tube spacers. So there's really nothing to ever see on the bottom of these things. See? Nothing impressive at all. You know, this wheel actually isn't so bad as this one clearly is. What I'm wondering is, how is it put on? Is it just glued in, or is it actually resting on an axle? That I don't know. You can see the tubes there. They're not perfectly aligned, but you can't really tell before you took it off the base. Yeah, I think I just may have fixed it right there. I just tweaked it. I literally heard the glue break. You know, that's good enough for me. I don't want to totally destroy the thing, so it's good enough. Alright, let me come back after I put this together and wipe it down. After looking at some more, I'm noticing this wheel has a tiny dent in it, so that's unfortunate. The treads are really nice though. Alright, again, there's no funky side blocks on the side, but it still has treads, so very good. I'm gonna have to put a license plate on there though. Well, let's compare it to the diecast. First, just two of them here. There's the Kyosho of this car. But this thing must have messed up wheels or something because I replaced them. Yeah, I think there's a BNDS wheels, if I'm not mistaken. This one was screwed together, so I painted the interior tan as well. But you can just see, I mean, this looks like a Hot Wheels to me now. I mean, compared to that, right? This is alright, I guess, for its time, but no comparison. This Kyosho here, the 86 convertible version, the Spider, nice treads. So these wheels are okay still, because I did not replace them. But again, being a die-cast, it's all blobby looking, right? It just looks, they both look like they're warm bars of soap, because they're trying to cover up the casting itself. Whereas resins don't seem to have that issue, I guess. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know what color these resins are. Maybe white would be logical, but... Well, alright. Get these things out. So here's the F40 by MY64, I believe it was. And that is one of the best resin models you can get these days, I think. Big fan of it. And this is the DMH of the Enzo, which I think something was wrong with this. I forget what. It was a minor thing, like an upside down horse or something. Well, anyways. It's interesting that DMH went from these wooden bases to acrylic. I don't know which actually costs more. Acrylic isn't cheap, especially polishing acrylic edges. That takes time. Whereas this could be CNC routed and just stained. But I guess that takes time as well, so... Anyways, they're all nice compared to die-cast, that's for sure. The engine bay of this is really impressive. I guess I'll get you a higher view so you can see it coming around. And then this one has like a vacuum formed window on the rear, but not the vents. They're not vent cut out, so that's one drawback. But they're still pretty thin windows. Alright, so as usual, you know, when you got this many parts, handcrafted, gonna have quality problems. That wheel was messed up, but you saw me fix it myself. And then a tiny little dent in one of the wheels. Other than that, though, I think it's a pretty darn impressive model. In particular, the interior seems to have a lot of detail, like a lot of different colors and stuff like that. Even though I don't really care about the detail too much of the inside as much as the outside, it's still nice to see at least once. And then the tiny little metal locks on this thing are really impressive. I'm positive there's brake systems back there, if that matters to you. It's just questionable. Should it have a clutch pedal? I do feel it should have a clutch pedal. Granted, I'm not going to look at those pedals ever again. And then the conical center nuts of the wheels. They should be hexagons. So I don't understand what went wrong there. I'm just looking here at this Enzo that DMH did, and they are hexagons, right? If I look here. I think those are not round. I feel like they might be hexagonal in shape, see? So strange, right? If this is an earlier model. It's just, I think a lot of times, the people that are making these CAD models, they don't actually they don't spend much time looking at photos, or don't understand the logic of how cars are made or put together. That might be the case. I mean, just think back to that Knight Rider car I have where the door panel was put on backwards. That person never even sat in a car before, right, to make that mistake. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next resin video. Bye.